This is my first time being in this show. Who's here? Who are return customers to this show? Clap your hands. I want to see how many people we got here. Make some noise. Okay, so we have more first-timers. First-timers, make some noise. I want to hear you guys. Yeah, first-timers. I'm a first-timer as well. I'm with you guys. This is a kind of a wild situation. I'm really happy to be here. We got liquor on stage and everything. This is nuts. I don't know what to do with that. I actually don't drink alcohol myself, which is always kind of a weird thing to admit to a group of people, because nobody likes that. People love when you quit drinking. They go nuts for that shit. If I got up here and I was like, hey man, sober 10 years, everyone's like, woo, rock on, you're the man. I get up here and I'm like, hey, I never drink. Everyone's like, pussy, I don't understand you. That's weird, why don't you drink and then quit so I can respect you? I get it too, man. My mom was an alcoholic. That's always my little get out of jail free pass. I'm like, I don't know. You're always like, yeah, okay, man, stay away from the stuff, not for you. And she tried hard too. She went through the 12 steps to stop drinking. Apparently not one of those steps is stop drinking. Did you guys know that? Let's really throw that one in there. Maybe in the first half, like the number 2 or 3 slot, just to get the ball rolling. I don't know. Because she was doing them all, you know. She was making amends, and she was giving herself over to a higher power. And let me tell you, that shit's easy to do when you got a couple of beers in you, for sure. That definitely speeds up the process. I don't, man. I don't drink. I don't do any drugs. Like, for example, when I make brownies, I kind of just make brownies. I kind of just stick to the recipe. I might throw an extra egg in there if I'm feeling nutty, but that's about it. And it's weird because I love them. Like, I go nuts for brownies. I get excited about regular brownies the way most of my friends get excited about weed brownies. Like, I got invited to a party a couple of weeks ago. My buddy was like, yo, bro, tonight, Michael's bringing brownies. And me, I was like, what? I didn't know it was gonna be like that kind of party. I got cookies. Should I bring my cookies? He's like, dude, you got cookies? I was like, you're damn right I do. My other buddy jumped in. He's like, should I bring my bong? Well, slightly off topic, but yeah, dude, it's a party. I don't want to judge you, but we are trying to have a conversation about desserts, if you don't mind. It's interesting spending your whole life sober. Mostly I just remember all of my mistakes vividly. That's the big difference there. Whenever I wake up next to a questionable stranger in my bed, I'm always like, yeah, I remember all that. Every step of the way. Went to some pretty great lengths to make it happen, as I recall. Wish I could blame this on the alcohol, but this one is all me. I never drunk dialed either. Never done that. But let me tell you guys, sober lonely dialing, not better. Arguably worse. You were there the whole time. It's weird being lonely, man. A friend of mine recently just got dumped. I feel bad for her. She's still in the sobbing phase of this, you know. And she's coming to me for the emotional support, and I don't know what to say. She's like, oh my God, I miss him so much. And I'm like, what? What do you miss about him? She's like, I don't even know. It's like little things, like, you know, we used to bake together. That was like a thing we did. And he'd always like help me out by like getting the mixing bowl above the cabinet. That was like his job. And he was always really good around the apartment. He was always like changing light bulbs and stuff. And then like during Christmas time, he'd like get the decorations from the attic and we'd like decorate. And I don't know, I need a man. And I was like, it sounds like you need a ladder, to be honest with you. If you heard a common thread in that story, maybe not just like a step stool and a puppy might sound like 90% of your man problems. That's rough. I felt bad for her. I went through some heartbreak myself recently too. My computer died. I don't know if you guys have ever gone through that hell. When your technology starts to fail on you, you go through the same emotional journey as when a relationship starts to fail. The first step is you ignore all the warning signs. You put shit off forever. You're like, we're good, we're great, we're fine. Okay, we don't have internet as much as we used to, but we do other things. It wasn't just about the internet with us. It takes a little bit longer for it to boot up nowadays, 5-10 minutes, but that happens to all computers after a while. I read that somewhere. Until one one day, everything fucking crashes, and we're stunned. Like, we had no idea. It was like, oh, what's going on? I don't know how this happened. I mean, I knew it had problems, but I didn't think it was just going to leave like that. Your buddies are like the computer repair guy. You're like, can I fix this? Is there anything I can do? And he's like, dude, man, it's over. I can open it up in safe mode and get some of your shit and get out of there, but that's it. That's all I can do. And safe mode is depressing, right? It's because like all your programs are there. You can see them, but you can't access them. Like physically they are present, but emotionally they're distant. This metaphor goes on forever, by the way. I can do this for 7 hours straight. I will just jump straight to the end for your sake. Eventually, you buy a new computer, right? You buy a new computer. But then you just download the same shit that broke the old computer because it was you! All along, wasn't it, you selfish piece of shit? It was always you! Work on yourself, man. This is great, man. You guys are fucking awesome, man. I'm really happy to be here. Performing comedy is a joy. Yeah, give it up for yourselves, man. Seriously, thank you. It's super fun. It's wild fun. I'm gonna remember this when I'm older. We used to do this shit when we were young. It was really cool. When I was a kid, when I was 15 years old, I knew I wanted to be a comic. I knew I wanted to do this. And my earth science teacher, he had us write letters to ourselves in the future. He said, write a letter. I'm going to collect them. I'm going to mail them back to you in 10 years. It's kind of a cool idea. And I'm 29 now. So 4 years ago, no joke, I got a letter from me. Now, if you ever want to feel like a loser, you read the letter from the 15-year-old version. Like, I thought I could do anything under the sun. I had a lot of high hopes for this guy. And I'm sure I thought I was being motivational, but I was really just being a dick. The whole thing, I was like, dear me, you're probably a millionaire by now. If you're not, what's wrong with you? You're lazy, you should have a TV show and a mansion, blah, me. And I'm reading this thing and I'm like so upset, I'm tearing up. I wanted to write back. That's what I really wanted to do. I just wanted to be like, you have no idea what it takes. You're stupid is what you are. This should be an apology note. This is your decisions that led me here. But I don't know if you've ever done something like that. It was cathartic. It was as painful as it was. It was good for me. It was good for at that time in my life. So good, in fact, as soon as I was done reading, this is true, I took another sheet of paper and I wrote another letter to my 35-year-old self. Yeah, also, I was much kinder, by the way. I didn't want to go through that hell again. I think the whole time I was like, hey, buddy, you're great, man. You do you, YOLO, who cares? I put a 20 in there. I'm like, just for whatever. You earned it. You know you did. Go to Cold Stone, treat yourself. Make it a you day. I'm going to keep the tradition alive, too, and I feel like with each passing decade, it's just going to slowly turn into an anti-suicide note. You're like, don't do it, buddy, I know what you're thinking. Hang in there another 10 years, you got this. But it's good, because as I grow older, you have to, I get to know who I am, and you have to kind of learn who you are. I think that's important. And I have to go all based off of what other people tell me, I feel like. I get complimented. I'm told I'm nice and funny, attractive even at times, but I've never felt like I've oozed sexuality. I don't think it's ever been my thing. Like, for example, if you had a wife, your wife would not have an affair with me. I don't think that's no one's gonna risk it all for one night of passion with this guy. Now, she might have an emotional affair with me. That's totally my thing. I'm big. Okay, you're not gonna catch us in bed together, but you might catch us at a Starbucks, sharing a latte, talking about our dreams. That's totally more my speed. I'm not gonna ruin your marriage, but I am gonna make you have a long conversation over the weekend about where the spark went. That's more my thing. Definitely forced a Poconos trip or two in my day. Your wife won't leave you for me, but she is gonna go back to school because I told her to believe in herself. That's more my thing. And then she's gonna fuck her professor, so you gotta get that. I didn't do it, she did. A lot of you girls are breastfeeding in public. Women are breastfeeding in public nowadays, which is great. I'm all for it. Some people are against it, which kind of blows me away. I never even thought that was something to be against, but here we are. And I was trying to figure this out, and I think it all stems from jealousy. That's my whole... I feel like the women, they look at that and they're like, oh, I want a baby. I feel like the men look at that and they go, I want that titty. That's not fair. Why? Why does that baby get that booby? I don't understand. And then we gotta be cooler than this. We gotta be a lot, like, just let them do it in public. Don't be weird. But then when they do, you can't look. That's the other thing too. They don't like that. That's for sure. I know that. So you gotta let them do it, and you can't look. It's a trap. It's a booby trap, is what it is. It's a goddamn booby trap. Yes, nicely done. You didn't think I was gonna come around with a joke. You're like, this one's over. Nope. I still had something going. I love being here in New York, man. I'll get out of here in a little bit, and it's great. It's a lot of diversity in this town, large gay population in New York too. People are still there's things. I was sitting next to a woman on the train, and apparently her husband's brother got hit on by a gay guy, and this just blew her mind. She was hysterically laughing. She was like, "Oh my God." I'm like, you know Robert. Robert is super, super straight. And there is another term for super, super straight. It's gay. Can we all agree? Nobody needs two supers before the word straight. To me, the sexuality spectrum is kind of like a game of Pac-Man. If you go too far to one side, you pop back up on the other side. And here's the thing too, guys. Gay people, they are the wrong people to be bigoted against because they have what I like to call a very high karma factor. And by that, I mean if you truly have hate in your hearts towards homosexuals, chances are you're probably going to have a gay kid. I feel like that's just how the universe works. That's how God even decides. He's like, this is going to be hilarious. And that's what he does. You guys have been great. Now, my name's Rob Ryan. That's my time. Thank you so much.